Get a pay raise.
It's been cloudy and cool across the area today, but the clouds are on their way out and the warm weather is on its way in. Full details coming up.
And we take you behind the scenes of the Kansas abortion vote recount.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
There's a new recruitment push for highway patrol troopers in Oklahoma, and it comes with a significant pay raise. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt signed a 30% pay raise into law and announced a new partnership with OSU to get more troopers on Oklahoma roads. Brittany Toulis breaks down the details.
Before Tuesday, hopeful troopers needed either 62 credit hours or an associate's degree in hand to even apply.
So we changed that this year. Now the statute says you need 62 hours before you get commissioned as a state trooper.
Signing the change, making it official. A small step for Governor Stitt, but it's a giant leap for the Oklahoma Highway Patrol.
It's really going to help these deputies, other municipal officers that want to come to the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, and they've gotten caught up in life and didn't have time to go through and get those 62 college credit hours.
It's through a partnership with OSU OKC. Troopers will be earning up to 39 credit hours during an academy. Prior experience will also count as credits. 1 year equals 10 credits, and up to 30 can be applied. It's in an effort to fill the OHP ranks across the 77 counties.
How close are they when they come? They're coming, but they may be coming from a county away or 2 counties away. This will ensure the response from the Oklahoma Highway Patrol will be greater.
Troopers are getting a 30% pay raise, the first increase in a decade.
And you talk about cost of living and the population explosion in the state of Oklahoma to be the same pay rate as we were a decade ago. That kind of puts that in perspective.
The new pay rates go into effect July 1st. Well, check this out. Seniors in Columbus, Kansas had some good, clean fun for the first day of school today. Every year, the seniors prank the fountain outside the Cherokee County Courthouse on the square. As you can see here, they prank it with soap, leading to an explosion of bubbles. Today's wind also helps spread the bubbles west across the square. What a mess.
It's not a mess. They're cleaning things up.
Yeah.
They're using soapy bubbles
Cleaning
to
up
make
the
things
town.
look good again, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
It might be a little chilly out there to take a bath in the cool air.
Columbus schools posted that photo early this morning, and the clock time said like 5:55.
Wow.
So I don't know when they were out there doing it, but it would have been chilly, and it was early for them to be out there doing
that video was shot like 2.5 hours later.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, it was. It certainly was, and it's kind of surprising that the bubbles were still there. It was an unexpected find, I would imagine, because I mean, with the wind blowing like that, you would have figured a lot of them would have been gone. But you know, it's all right. What is almost gone is cloud cover. You can see the satellite. If you are roughly Pittsburgh north, starting to clear out. If you're Pittsburgh south, we've still got a little bit before the cloud cover gets out of here. Main rain front we saw is already getting through Arkansas, way out there. But you remember we had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings yesterday, and they actually left just a couple of reports. In Chautauqua, a report of a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust there. And then in northwestern Washington County, there was a report of tree limbs that were downed by winds that were estimated to be 60 to 65 miles an hour. It was a bumpy night for some folks, but today, not so bumpy. I mean, look at these temperatures. Anderson, Bella Vista, Cassville, Monette. Look at this. I haven't even made it out of the 60s yet today. Everybody else is in the 70s, and then as promised, I mentioned this morning, if you are where the clouds have cleared out, you're already getting close to 80 degrees. So Fort Scott, for example, is at 80. As we go through the rest of the evening, we will eventually make it into the 70s for most of us, and then we're going to cool way back down because the clouds clear out and the skies open up, and that leaves us in the lower 60s for overnight lows yet again. Warm weather is on the way, and you can keep track of all the latest weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Just scan that QR code, or you can go and search KOAM Skywatch weather in your favorite app store. We'll have a look at the complete forecast, including a warm-up and additional rain chances here in just a few minutes.
All right, looking forward to that. Thanks, Chris. Well, a recount of the Kansas abortion vote is underway. Donors raised enough money to pay for a recount in 9 counties. Crawford County is one of the 9. Most of the others are in metro areas. Nathan Vickers takes us to Johnson County, where 35 volunteers are working to sort ballots.
It's a difficult undertaking. A team of election workers preparing to hand count ballots from all over Johnson County.
It's almost like a giant jigsaw puzzle where we're having to sort all of the ballots into the different 547 different precincts of piles of paper.
Fred Sherman is the JOCO election commissioner. He's confident that at the end of the week, the recount will accurately reflect the results of the August election, including the Value Them Both amendment.
Continue to stand by the integrity of Johnson County elections. It's fair, accurate, safe, and secure.
The amendment lost by 165,000 votes statewide. But Melissa Levitt of Colby, Kansas requested a recount, raising more than $40,000 toward the money the state needed to do it. On her donation site, she writes, "We must do what we can before it's too late."
I don't think that the margin is really significant at this point.
The remaining money came from Mark Geetson, leader of the Kansas Republican Assembly, who paid it using a credit card. He told our sister station in Wichita he suspects tampering in voting machines.
If that's where the votes are being switched, you don't know unless the vote has been hand counted, and I don't know unless the vote has been hand counted what the actual ballots are. And that's only getting to first base.
In the recount, nonpartisan teams of election workers will examine every vote.
We're going to go through and basically touch each of the 256,869 paper ballots that was cast by a voter and looked at when they made cast their ballot through the process.
A process Sherman says will take several more long days of work.
We're tired. I wouldn't say frustrated, but we're exhausted, and it is quite a gargantuan process, but it is part of the election process and procedures here in the state of Kansas. So we are implementing the policies adopted by the state of Kansas.
Well, Johnson County has 250,000 ballots to sort, and the volunteers are hoping to be done by Friday afternoon. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, schools across the nation are facing a teacher shortage. We look into the reasons behind the lack of staffing and the impact it could have on both students and families. And later, we're making lemonade and fused catfish in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. As the school year kicks off around the country, districts are already facing an uphill battle, a shortage of teachers. As Naomi Ruckham explains, tens of thousands of positions are still unfilled.
After more than 3 decades in the classroom, Florida kindergarten teacher Denise Sufreen still looks forward to the first day back.
I am so excited. I can't wait to meet them.
But as kids fill the halls again, Florida is in the midst of a massive teacher shortage with about 8,000 unfilled positions.
What is the impact of the shortage on students?
Students won't have as much individualized help. They might not be getting the quality of education.
Kansas is down about 1,400 teachers statewide. Dallas had 300 positions to fill with just weeks to go.
We're hiring on site.
And San Francisco is starting the school year short.
We can do an emergency permit, emergency credential.
We have a perfect storm.
Randy Weingarten is the president of the American Federation of Teachers. She says the shortage is due to low pay, politicization of the classroom, and a basic lack of appreciation for educators.
We need the politicians to stop making these culture wars and to respect the work we do, respect parents, respect kids, and respect teachers, and that doesn't cost a dime.
Some districts are getting creative to bring teachers back to class, offering 4-day work weeks, thousands of dollars in incentives, discounted childcare, and even relaxing the dress code. Still, a poll of the American Federation of Teachers found job satisfaction is desperately low, with 3/4 of members saying they would not recommend their profession. 40% say they'll likely leave their jobs in the next 2 years.
Education has to be valued by our society more. It needs to be shown with salaries.
This school year, many districts are missing the mark, even before the bell rings. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
The AF survey also shows teachers believe lawmakers have not done enough to curb gun violence in schools, and 70% said the threat of gun violence affects their school environments. Well, the staffing shortage isn't limited to teachers. Many districts are still looking for bus drivers and some even crossing guards. Now, Joplin is looking to fill several crossing guard positions, and classes are already underway in Galena, Kansas, with crossing guards in position. According to the CDC, 1 in every 5 crash fatalities for children ages 15 and under are pedestrians, making the importance of the guards that much more vital.
That we have so many different parents coming in and picking up their students that we want to make sure that that's a safe place. We really can't operate our pickup locations without the crossing guard helping.
When school starts next Monday, Joplin schools plan to fill the district's shortage of crossing guards with either staff or local police. Still to come on the KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
One of the best parts of what I do, well, besides tasting all the recipes, is to reply to all your questions and comments. So today, I'm answering a question that many of you asked about.
Sounds fishy. But first, Chris Warner returns with your complete forecast.
Cloudy and cool, that's been the theme for the majority of us today. However, you can see on the satellite, the clouds are slowly shifting south and clearing out. So if you are north of the cloud line, it's been a little bit warmer today. Bulk of the activity we saw from yesterday down in southern Arkansas now and moving on out of here. And then take a look at some of the rainfall that we saw as well. We're talking anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of much needed rain across the area. And we're not done yet. But wait, there's more. We'll get to the more here shortly. As you can see, though, 7th range line just completely socked in with clouds still. We're waiting for all that clearing way back there to eventually make its way down here, and it will. 72 in Joplin right now, thanks to the clouds. It's not heating up much, and you can very clearly see where that cloud line is on the temperature map as well. As we've got 79 in Yates Center and Iola, 80 in Fort Scott, 78 in Nevada, and then just right down the road on 69 or 49, 74 Pittsburgh, 74 in Lamar. But again, the clouds will slowly shift out of here, bringing nothing but ample sunshine, which is what we'll continue to have. As we go through the evening, we will eventually clear out, which means we'll eventually warm into the mid-70s and upper 70s in some areas. Temperatures will cool off under clear skies because the clouds will move completely out of here. And because of that, it leaves chilly conditions behind. We're talking low 60s for overnight lows. So in the next 24 hours, those clear skies hang out. They hang out into tomorrow as well. But because it's going to be clear skies tomorrow and we're still in August, it's going to be a bit warmer as we head for highs in the 80s. So let's take a look at the future track and see what the short term and then the long term has to hold for us. So in the short term, you can see heading into tomorrow, we're talking mid-80s for highs, maybe some passing clouds. But did you see what was back behind me? Off to our northwest. This is Thursday evening. Take a look at this guy. He's going to be making an impact. So let's take a look further down the road. So this is the rest of today. These clouds hanging out. They'll get out of here, and then it'll cool off. And like I said, it's going to be downright chilly by some standards. I mean, especially for the fact that we're in the middle of August. Now, tomorrow, we start to warm back up into the mid-80s. Then we have that system that's off to our northwest, and it's eventually going to make its way in here going through Friday. The clouds increase, and boom, here it comes. 7 o'clock tomorrow, we start to see more showers and thunderstorms across the area. But you can also see ahead of that, look at Parsons, for example, 90, 85 in Pittsburgh. We're going to be pushing the lower 90s. So let's get through the rest of today. So we had our morning showers. They're out of here. 86 tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. Friday, we're going to spend most of the day pretty clear. It's by tomorrow evening, as you saw, that thunderstorm chances begin to increase, and then they hold on through the weekend. Now, unfortunately, it does mean it's going to be a wet and rainy weekend, but the good thing is look at what it does for temperatures again. It takes those temperatures back down into the 80s. 81 by Sunday, 86 by Monday, 89 on Tuesday, and overnight lows each and every night hanging out in the 60s. So considering, again, that it's August 17th, and we're looking at 60s for overnight lows and mainly 80s for afternoon highs, I think it's all right. It could be a lot worse this time of year.
It's going to be a wonderful next 7 days.
It certainly will. And we're getting that much needed rainfall in between all this. So we're on the upswing. Things are looking good. I've got to admit,
thank you.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
Getting better.
We like it
all the time.
All right, thanks, Chris.
It was the Beatles.
I guess you're right. All right, we take this time to honor today's fourth state hero, Private First Class Joe Gobia in the U.S. Army. Soldier from Chanute, Kansas, served during and after World War II, stationed in Germany. He worked as a carpenter, tasked with building construction and drainage system repairs. Gobia earned both the World War II Victory Medal and the Army of Occupation Medal. To Private Joe Gobia, we thank you, our four-state hero. Fish is a great go-to when you're looking for a fresh tasting summer dish. How about a lemonade infused catfish? And we're talking fish today in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Earlier this month, I did a segment and mentioned that August was U.S. Farm-Raised Catfish Month. And since then, I've received questions regarding where and how is it farmed. So let me show you. It all starts in beautiful open-air farms like these throughout the South. Before the fish enter the pond, they're raised in nurseries in fresh water. Once they're big enough, they're carefully moved into ponds that are filled with water that is pumped from underground aqua-filtered wells. Then the fish are fed a high-protein pellet that floats on top of the water, which means these beauties are top feeders, ensuring that every bite that we take will be clean and sweet tasting. Once they're just the right size, they're harvested and rushed to the processing plant where they're ready to ship to us within hours. This process may sound easy, but let me assure you, these catfish farmers work hard to exceed our expectations. As a matter of fact, I think tonight I'm going to make my recipe for lemonade infused catfish, which is a perfect summertime dish. To get the recipe, you know what to do. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today I'm glad I could share with you a behind-the-scenes way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
It does look good, and you can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our four-state market prices.
Clouds will eventually clear on out of here, giving us overnight lows in the lower 60s. Warming up tomorrow and Friday before our next weather maker comes in. Brings us some rain chances for the weekend, and then it cools down again into the 80s.
What do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, if you're struggling to remember something, just reach for your handy cell phone. While some experts believe too much tech can lead to digital dementia, the latest research says otherwise. In Health Watch, how phones might actually improve our memories. Plus, Crawford County is part of the Kansas recount for the Kansas constitutional amendment on abortion rights after donors raised funds to support a second look at the ballots. And a Pittsburgh man is indicted in a Missouri federal court for possession of fentanyl with intent to distribute. Join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
All right. Thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.